Hello, everyone. It's my Substack Ask Me Anything, Airport Edition. As you can see, I am in the airport, flying to Aspen, Colorado for the food and wine, and want to make sure that I get to all your questions. So here we go. And by the way, if you would like to ask me questions, just see the information below. Okay, Michael asks, what's the difference between rice vinegar and rice wine vinegar? I see recipes with both. I've Googled this but can't come up with a consensus. Thanks in advance. It's one of the most confusing issues in the entire world of food. 99% of the time, rice vinegar and rice wine vinegar are actually the same thing. It's just a labeling issue, usually having to do with countries of origin through which some of these products are imported. Typically, making vinegar straight from a grain involves distilling the grain in some point. In other words, turning it into wine, or in some cases, some other beverage, alcoholic in nature, and then making vinegar from that. Obviously, vinegar from wine is easiest, cheapest. 99% of the time, it's the same thing. And it's just simply a labeling issue from country of origin. Runs with a fox. Interesting. If that's your real name, it's super cool. I've enjoyed Bizarre Foods since its inception. One of the most interesting aspects to me is entomophagy. From mealworms to Junebugs, what was your favorite insect to eat? Not even close. Giraffe beetles in Madagascar. It's the only country in the world where they're found. They're large. They taste just like shrimp. You cook them. Amazing. Just flash sauteed in butter, little salt, and they tasted like tiny little shrimp. I've never seen anything like it. Now, what was most interesting about it was in Madagascar, you have to go to this place by the desert where these scrub bushes, and the bushes, like many others around the world, have toxic needles on them, and you have to crawl through those to get the beetles, which live in huge clusters deep inside these bushes. So you can fill up coffee cans of beetles very quickly, but unless you wrap yourself literally head to toe in like a beekeeper's outfit, you are going to get horrific welts and stings on your body. So no pain, no gain for giraffe beetles, but they are remarkable. If you ever are in Madagascar, I encourage everyone to seek them out. What is your favorite pepper mill? Scott asks. I've tried many different ones, and my favorite is Peugeot. It seems to have the most consistent grind. My favorite pepper mill is my mortar and pestle. Every 3 or 4 days, I take a few tablespoons of pepper. I pound it as, fairly fine in my mortar and pestle. It takes about 30 seconds, and I have enough for at least 3 or 4 days, and it doesn't dissipate in flavor that much. Now, the reason that I do that is that I have found that my delivery system for pepper, even with a Peugeot, even with some of the electric ones, and I have all these companies send me pepper mills all the time, nothing really delivers like grabbing a big pinch of it with my fingers. And because I don't put pepper on my steaks or seafood or anything else before I grill them or flash them in a saute pan, hard sear them, because I don't want the flavor of bitter pepper on my dish. I use pepper mostly now to finish dishes or in braises, and so consequently, when I use them, I need a teaspoon at a time for a salad dressing or a soup or stew, or if I'm grilling steaks and friends are over at the house, I need a teaspoon to sprinkle across everything. So I find myself, or for pastas like cacio e pepe, so I find it's better to use my mortar and pestle. The more that I cook and the older that I get, the more I use my mortar and pestle to grind all of my spices, and I buy whole spices and have at it. Black, white, and dried green peppercorns are very dry, and so they grind super easy because of their size and their lack of moisture. So use a mortar and pestle. I think you'll like it. And the great thing about a mortar and pestle, because even with Peugeot, there are 2 small mounting screws in the bottom that hold the bottom grinding plate to the wood or metal, or in some cases plastic, casing on the outside of the grinder. And ultimately those shake free, and ultimately a little screw can pop out into a dish, and that would be a nightmare for me at my house to cause someone to lose a filling. So great questions this week. Hope you're all well. Hope you're watching Iron Chef and enjoying it. If not, check it out on Netflix, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.